point, live dog, grew into sight, running across the sweep of sand. Lord, is he going to attack me? Respect is liberty. You will not be master of others or their slave. I have my stick. Sit tight. From farther away, walking shoreward across from the crested tide, figures two. The two Marys. They have tucked it safe among the bulrushes. Peekaboo, I see you. No, the dog. He is running back to them. Who? Galleys of the Lachlan's ran here to beach, in quest of prey. Their blood-beaked prows riding low on a molten pewter surf. Dane Vikings, torques of tomahawks a-glitter on their breasts when Malachi wore the collar of gold. A school of turlehide whales stranded in hot noon, spouting, hobbling in the shallows. Then, from the starving cage-work city, a horde of jerkined dwarfs. My people, with flayers' knives, running, scaling, hacking in green blubbery whale meat. Famine, plague, and slaughters. Their blood is in me, their lusts my waves. I moved among them on the frozen Liffey, that I, a changeling, among the spluttering resin fires. I spoke to no one, none to me. The dog's bark ran toward him, stopped, ran back. Dog of my enemy, I just simply stood pale, silent, bayed about. Terribilia meditans, a primrose doublet, fortune's knave, smiled on my fear. For that you are pining, the bark of their applause? Pretenders, live their lives. The Bruce's brother, Thomas Fitzgerald, silken knight, Perkin Warbeck, York's false scion, in breeches of silk of white rose ivory, wonder of a day, and Lambert Simnel, with a tale of nans and sutlers, a scullion crowned, all kings' sons, paradise of pretenders, then and now. He saved men from drowning, and you shake at a cur's yelping. But the courtiers who mocked Guido or San Michel were in their own house of... We don't want any of your medieval abstrusiosities. Would you do what he did? A boat would be near, a life buoy. Natürlich. Put there for you. Would you or would you not? The man that was drowned 9 days ago off Maiden's Rock. They are waiting for him now. The truth, spit it out. I would want to. I would try. I am not a strong swimmer. Water cold soft. When I put my face into it in the basin at Clongowes. Can't see. Who's behind me? Out quickly, quickly. Do you see the tide flowing quickly in on all sides, sheeting the lows of sands quickly? Shell cocoa-colored? If I had land under my feet, I want his life still to be his, mine to be mine. A drowning man. His human eyes scream to me out of horror of his death. I, with him together down, I could not save her. Waters, bitter death, lost. A woman and a man. I see her skirties, pinned up, I bet. Their dog ambled about a bank of dwindling sand. Trotting, sniffing on all sides. Looking for someone lost in a past life. Suddenly, he made off like a bounding hare. Ears flung back, chasing the shadow of a low-skimming gull. The man's shrieked whistle struck his limp ears. He turned, bounded back, came nearer, trotted on twinkling shanks, on a field tenny a buck, trippant, proper, unattired, at the lace fringe of the tide. He halted with stiff forehoofs, seaward pointed ears. His snout lifted, barked at the wave noise, herds of sea morse. They serpented towards his feet, curling, unfurling many crests, every ninth, breaking, plashing from farther out, waves and waves. Cockle pickers. They waded a little way in the water, and, stooping, soused their backs, and, lifting them again, waded out. The dog yelped, running to them, reared up and pawed them, dropping on all fours, again reared up at them with mute, bearish fawning. Unheeded, he kept by them as they came towards the drier sand, a rag of wolf's tongue red panting from his jaws. His speckled body ambled ahead of them, and then loped off at a calf's gallop. The carcass lay on his path. He stopped, sniffed, stalked round it, brother, nosing closer, went round it, sniffing rapidly like a dog all over the dead dog's bedraggled fell. Dog skull. Dog sniff. Eyes on the ground. Moves to one great goal. Ah, poor dog's body. Here lies poor dog's body's body. Tatters. Out of that, you mongrel. The cry brought him skulking back to his master, and a blunt, bootless kick sent him unscathed across a spit of sand, crouched in flight. He slunk back in a curve. Doesn't see me. Along by the edge of the mole he lolloped, dawdled, smelt a rock, and from under a cocked hind leg pissed against it. He trotted forward and, lifting his hind leg, pissed quick short at an unsmelt rock. The simple pleasures of the poor. His hind paws then scattered sand. Then his forepaws dabbled and delved. Something he buried there, his grandmother. He rooted in the sand, dabbling, delving, and stopping to listen to the air, scraped up the sand again with the fury of his claws, soon seizing. A pard, a panther, got in spouse breach, vulturing the dead. After he woke me up last night, same dream or was it? Wait. Open hallway. Street of harlots. Remember. Harun al-Rashid. I am almosting it. That man led me, spoke. I was not afraid. The melon he had held against my face. Smiled. Cream fruit smell. That was the rule, said. Come in, come. Red carpet spread. You will see who. Shouldering their bags they trudged, the red Egyptians. His blued feet, out of turned-up trousers, slapped the clammy sand, a dull brick muffler strangling his unshaven neck. With women's steps she followed, the ruffian and his strolling mort. Spoils slung at her back. Loose sand and shell grit crusted her bare feet. About her winddraw face, her hair trailed. Behind her lord, his helpmate, Bing Awast to Romeville. When night hides her body's flaws, calling under her brown shawl from an archway where dogs have mired, her fancy man is treating two royal Dublins in O'Loughlin's of black pits. Bus her, wappin' rogues rum lingo. For oh my dimmer wapping dell, a she-fiend's whiteness under her rancid rags. Fumbly's lane that night, the tanyard smells. White thy fambles, red thy gone. and the quarren's dainty is. Couch a hogshead with me then, in the dark man's clip and kiss. Morose delectation, Aquinas Turnbelly calls this. Frate porco spino. Unfallen Adam rode and not rutted. Call away, let him, thy quarren's dainty is. Language no whit worse than his. Monk words, merry beads jabber on their girdles. Rogue words, tough nuggets patter in their pockets. Passing now. A side eye at my Hamlet hat. If I were suddenly naked here as I sit, I am not. Across the sands of all the world, followed by the sun's flaming sword, to the west, trekking to evening lands. She trudges, schleps, trains, drags, tressines her load. A tide westering, moon-drawn in her wake. Tides, myriad islanded, within her. Blood not mine. Oinopa ponton, a wine-dark sea. Behold the handmaid of the moon. In sleep the wet sign calls her hour, bids her rise. Bride bed, child bed, bed of death, ghost candled. Omnis caro ad te veniet. He comes, pale vampire, through storm his eyes, his bat sails bloodying the sea. Mouth to her mouth's kiss. Here, put a pin in that chap, will you? My tablets. Mouth to her kiss. No, must be two of 'em. Glue 'em well. Mouth to her mouth's kiss. His lips lipped, and mouthed fleshless lips of air. Mouth to her womb. All wombing tomb. His mouth molded, issuing breath, unspeeched. Oee-ha! Roar of cataractic planets, globed, blazing, roaring way away, 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 away. Paper. The banknotes, blast them. Old Deasy's letter. Here, thanking you for hospitality. Tear the blank end off, turning his back to the sun. He bent over far to a table of rock and scribbled words. That's twice I forgot to take slips from the library counter. His shadow lay over the rocks as he bent, ending. Why not endless till the farthest star? Darkly they are behind this light, darkness shining in the brightness. Delta of Cassiopeia, worlds. Me sits there with his azure's rod of ash, in borrowed sandals, by day beside a livid sea, unbeheld in violet night, walking beneath a rain of uncouth stars. I throw this ended shadow from me, man-shape ineluctable. Call it back. Endless would it be mine. Form of my form? Who watches me here? Whoever, anywhere will read these written words. Signs on a white field. Somewhere to someone in your flutiest voice. The good Bishop of Cloyne took the veil of the temple out of his shovel hat. His shovel hat. Veil of space with colored emblems hatched on its field. Hold hard, colored on a flat. Yes, that's right. Flat I see, then think distance, near, far. Flat I see, east, back. Ah, see now, falls back suddenly, frozen in stereoscope. Click does the trick. You find my words dark. Darkness is in our souls, do you not think? Flutier, our souls, shame wounded by our sins, cling to us yet more. Our souls, shame wounded by our sins, cling to us yet more. A woman to her lover clinging, the more the more. She trusts me, her hand gentle, the long-lashed eyes. Now where the blue hell am I bringing her beyond the veil, the veil? Into the ineluctable modality of the ineluctable visuality. She. What she? The virgin at Hodges Fidge's window on Monday, looking in for one of the alphabet books you were going to write? Keen glance he gave her, wrist through the braided jessie of her sunshade. Talk that to someone else, Stevie. A pick-me-up. But she wears those curse of God stays suspenders and yellow stockings, darned with lumpy wool. Talk about apple dumplings. Piuttosto. Where are your wits? Touch me. Soft eyes. Soft hand. I am lonely here. Oh, touch me soon, now. What is that word known to all men? I am quiet here alone. Sad, too. Touch me. He lay back at full stretch over the sharp rocks, cramming the scribbled note and pencil into a pocket, his hat tilted down on his eyes. That is Kevin Egan's moment I made nodding for his nap, Sabbath sleep. Et vidit Deus. Et errant valde bona. Allo, bonjour. Welcome as the flowers in May. Under its leaf he watched through peacock-twittering lashes the southing sun. I am caught in this burning scene. Pan's hour, the faunal noon. Among gum-heavy serpent plants, milk-oozing fruits, where on the tawny waters leaves lie wide. Pain is far. And no more turn aside and brood. His gaze brooded on his broad-toed boots, a buck's cast-offs nebeneinander. He counted the creases of rucked leather wherein another's foot had nested warm. The foot that beat the ground in tripudium, foot I dislove. But you were delighted when Esther Oswald's shoe went on you, girl I knew in Paris. Tiens, quel petit pied. Staunch friend, a brother's soul, wild's love that dare not speak its name. He now will leave me, and the blame, as I am, all or not at all. In long lassos from the cock lake the water flowed full, covering green goldenly lagoons of sand, rising, flowing. My ash plant will float away. I shall wait. No, they will pass on, passing, chafing against the low rocks, swirling, passing. Better get this job over quick. Listen, a four-worded wave speech. Sisu, hers, resis, us. Vehement breath of waters amid sea snakes, rearing horses, rocks. In cups of rocks it slops, flop, slop, slap, bounded in barrels. And, spent, its speech ceases. It flows purling, widely flowing, floating foam pool, flower unfurling. Under the upswelling tide he saw the writhing weeds languidly and sway reluctant arms, hissing up their petticoats, in whispering water swaying and upturning coy silver fronds. Day by day, night by night, lifted, flooded, and let fall. Lord, they are weary. And, whispered to, they sigh. St. Ambrose heard it, sigh of leaves and waves, waiting, awaiting the fullness of their times. Diebus ac noctibus injurias patiens ingemicit. To no end gathered, vainly then released, forth flowing, wending back, loom of the moon, weary too in sight of lovers, lascivious men, a naked woman shining in her courts, she draws a toil of waters. 5 fathoms out there, full fathom 5 thy father lies. At one he said, found drowned. High water at Dublin Bar. Driving before it a loose drift of rubble, fan shoals of fishes, silly shells. A corpse rising salt-white from the undertow, bobbing landward, apace a porpoise. There he is, hook it quick. Sunk though he be beneath the watery floor, we have him. Easy now. Bag of corpse sagas, sopping in foul brine. A quiver of minnows, fat of a spongy tippet, flash through the slits of his buttoned trouser fly. God becomes man, becomes fish, becomes barnacle goose, becomes featherbed mountain. Dead breaths I living breathe, tread dead dust, devour a Uranus offal from all dead. Halt, stark over the gunwale, he breathes upward the stench of his green grave, his leprous nose hole snoring to the sun.